Hello everyone, I'm your hostess with the mostest 8-second gaming. In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the 5 best legends to be solo queuing with this split. I'm sure we all know that solo queuing is a tough thing to do, and you don't want to make it any harder on yourself by not having a good legend to back you up with their abilities. So we're going to be breaking down 5 of them today, and by the end of this video, you should have at least one character that you can pick up to solo queue with. And while having a good legend is a great start for solo queuing, there's a bunch of other stuff that goes into it as well, like having good game sense, understanding different situations perfectly, and if you guys want to get all that knowledge, then you need to check out the GameLeap website right now. Over there, we have top level coaches who have played at the highest ranks and know how to get others there as well. They've made hundreds of guides and courses already, with more on the way every single week. So if you guys really want to improve at Apex, click the link in the description, pick yourself up a membership, or I'll steal all the light switches in your house. But okay, let's jump into the legends now, and starting this list off in the number 5 spot, we are going to have my boy Octane. Now Octane is a really good solo queue legend because of how fast he is. He has a ton of solo mobility, so you can get in and out of fights extremely quickly, be that fast, heavy-hitting guy who comes in, gets a kill, leaves before the enemy team even realizes what's going on. But on top of having really good solo mobility, he also has some pretty good team mobility too with his jump pad. Now his jump pad is not as good as it used to be, and he isn't quite in the same spot that he was in the meta. So he's not a super fantastic pick, he does require a super specific playstyle. You want to have to go fast, you want to have to take risks by using his stim in those fights, you want to have to play him like Octane should be played. You can't be a little bit hesitant, because when you hesitate as Octane, you die. Now if you are one of those people who do want to take those risks, he is fantastic. And when you actually understand how to use his stim in fights, you are almost untouchable. I'm sure if you guys have seen some of the Neo Strafe videos that have been going on where you can go back and forth with his stim, it is amazing. I know that some people don't really like to use the stim in fights because they think, hey, why would I try to actively lose health while I'm in a gunfight? But trust me, it is a good trade-off. But because the meta has shifted away from Octane a little bit and he's not as useful as he once was, I have him in the 5th spot. So let's jump into number 4, and that is going to be Valkyrie. Now at the start of season 14, we did see some nerfs to Valkyrie. Her entire kit was hit. Literally every single ability was nerfed in some way, shape, or form, and a lot of people thought that that was going to be the death of her. When people were reading the patch notes, they thought, hey, Valkyrie's kind of dead in the water, and a lot of the mains actually switched off of her. But Valkyrie is still an amazing legend. She still has a ton of opportunities in fights with her jetpack. Her rockets, while are not as forgiving anymore, are still very good at singling out targets and allowing you to pick up kills. And her ultimate is still a fantastic ability to get into circle, and especially this season with the zone changes, sometimes you need a Valkyrie to give you a little bit more leeway on places. I can't tell you how many times I've been stuck outside of ring with a team gatekeeping me and been super happy that I've had a Valkyrie on my team, because we can just take to the skies, fly over top of them, get a good spot in zone, and we do not have to worry about anything. Now the only thing that I will tell you guys with Valkyrie, if you did play her before the nerfs, you cannot spam her abilities like you used to. Like I said before, her rockets are not as forgiving. You have to take a little bit extra time to line them up so that they do hit them. And her jetpack is not as long lasting as it used to be. You run out of fuel extremely quickly now. So have a spot that you want to fly to planned out in your head before you use the jetpack. If you start to use it before you have a plan in mind, you'll run out of fuel and you might not get to where you need to go. But now we can move into our number 3 spot, and that legend is going to be Wraith. Wraith has always been a very staple pick in Apex. She's always been a very good choice for people who are solo queuing, who are aggressive, and she's going to continue to be that way for this foreseeable future. She's still very good in fights, and though some people think her phase needs to be active now, it doesn't. It's still really good. You just have to pop it a little bit sooner so you don't get caught out in the animation. And with the current map that we're on for rank being Kings Canyon, everything's a lot more compact and her portal doesn't need as much distance on it. So you can use it extremely effectively as a repositioning tool for not just you, but your entire team. If the ring doesn't pull the way you want it to, if a team is pushing your building and you don't like it, or a handful of other situations, you can just throw a portal down, get you and your squad to safety, rotate out if you have to, and you live to fight another day. And I don't think it surprises anyone to know that when you're playing as a solo queuer, you don't want to rely on your team. If you need to get out of a situation, you want to have a tool to get out, and Wraith has multiple. So that's why I have Wraith in the number 3 spot. But now moving into number 2, we have Newcastle. Newcastle is basically the new Gibraltar. He is a ridiculously strong support character. But with Gibraltar, when he was in the meta, he really relied on his teammates to be a useful support. You didn't really have any mobility, and he really needed his teammates to be around him for the bubble. But with Newcastle, he has a bunch of different ways to play around your team, even if they're not paying as much attention to you. Your ultimate allows you to jump to your teammates, so if you get caught out and your teammates aren't around you, you can make it over to them in time. His shield wall moves insanely fast now, so you can use it to storm buildings or to help you relocate to a new spot if you get caught out. And another way that Gibraltar fell short is he got countered by Seer's Tactical. If a teammate went down and you threw a Gibraltar dome over top of them, the Seer Tactical still went through it and could cancel your res. But with Newcastle, you can move while reviving your teammates, so you actually have a chance to dodge that Seer Tactical and not get your res cancelled. Newcastle has a ton of tricks up his sleeve, and if you're the type to play support for your team, you should definitely be looking to pick him up. Even as a solo queue player, you can still carry your squad with Newcastle and not have to rely on them to help you get out of situations. You are very self-sufficient, and that's why I have him as number 2. He's ridiculously strong. But now, who is taking the number 1 spot in my opinion? Well, right now that is going to be the new legend Vantage. Now, Vantage actually kind of reminds me how old Pathfinder used to feel back in preseason with the tactical mobility that you can use in fights. She actually has a ton of different movement techs that you can do with it, and she's a lot of fun. But every single thing in her kit helps you out as a solo player. First off, her passive allows you to check the information on enemy teams. You can see their armors to see if you go in with an armor advantage, you can see how many people are alive, you can see what legends they're playing to see if they've used any abilities in fights or if there's any abilities you need to be scared of. And like I said, her tactical is ridiculously strong for movement. Now, if you use all the different movement techs that are coming out, like Vantage Dashing, where you're able to kind of go back and forth instantly, you can be extremely slippery in fights. And actually, Vantage movement has gotten to the point where it's basically tap strafing for console players as well. You can do some pretty nutty tricks with her. And that's not even mentioning her ultimate and how strong it is. You can do so much damage in so little time. And it effectively gives you a third weapon, so you cover every single range possible. Now, I've solo queued to Masters twice, and one of the hardest things that I found in those times is when my teammates didn't have the same plan as me. I would pick up short range and they'd want to play long range, so next game I'd try picking up long range, they'd want to play short range. It was really hard to be constantly changing my loadout to fit what my team wanted to do, but with Vantage, you don't have to be changing your playstyle. You have the long range covered with your sniper rifle, so you can pick up a shotgun and an SMG or a shotgun and an AR and have every single possible range covered, so no matter what your team wants to do, you're able to just fit right in. And while Vantage does seem like more of a support character on the surface level, she's actually a really good secondary fragger as well. So as a solo queue player, you don't really have to force yourself into a different playstyle. Vantage is able to just kind of morph into whatever her team wants to do, and that's why I have her at my number 1 spot. I think she's going to be the strongest solo queue legend this split, and I really think you need to be abusing her before Respawn catches on to how strong she is and kind of tones down her kit a little bit. But now I want to throw a question out to you guys, the community. What character do you solo queue on the most? And why do you solo queue on them? What do you like about their kit that fits well with the solo queue playstyle? Let me know in the comments down below. And with all this being said, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. If you did and you want to stay up to date with the latest and greatest Apex Legends tips, tricks, and news, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button. Thank you guys all for watching. Once again, I'm 8second Gaming. You guys come check me out on Twitch sometime, twitch.tv/8secondgaming, and I will see you guys in the next one.